Pardon our progress. It's you, it's me. It's YDT. It's Season 3, Episode 170. It's a show, it's always been a show, which pulls back the curtain, takes down walls brick by brick, and exposes the true hearts of those caring for those you love most. Let's take a deep dive. And first and foremost, get out of the way a big, massive thank you. Last time released this past Friday. So many people showed up and continue to show up to stream it and share it. I'm so excited and appreciative of such support. And yet is number 15. It is holding the spot and still climbing at radio. I can't believe it. I knew it would happen. I knew that this is what I was made to do. I had no idea what it looked like, and so I just showed up. And that's what this episode's about. That's what everything that I do is about, is just showing up. And I don't feel like it when it's almost midnight and I have to get the episode out so that you all can hear it first thing, because every Tuesday morning, 6 a.m., like clockwork, a new episode drops. Thank you for the support of Yet. Be sure to share it with a friend. Be sure to stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, and know that I'm grateful for that. We just celebrated Bear's birthday, my sweet little bear. He's 3. A cake, ice cream cake. It was a beautiful ice cream cake, and all of a sudden there was a section that just kind of falls to the counter. We're like, oh my gosh, it's melting. Who'd have thought that you needed to put it in the freezer? We thought we'd eat it sooner. Nonetheless, Bear had a great birthday. Cousins came, brothers were running around screaming at each other, grandparents were there. It was nice. It was very special for Bear, and he had a beautiful way of putting a really pretty ribbon and bow on our family. Very, very healthy and happy boys, and Bear had a great birthday. And for everybody who follows me on all the socials, at Nathan Morris Music on TikTok, at Nathan Morris on Instagram. Instagram is blowing up. And then, of course, YouTube, where you get exclusive content each and every piece at YouTube. Consider going over there right this second, subscribing, hitting the bell so you can stay notified whenever new content releases. And also, last piece of advice. It's advice because it keeps the lights on. We're finishing up this massive renovation. Please forgive what's behind me and over there. I can't wait to do the reveal. And speaking of reveal, all of those who subscribe to my exclusive subscribers only, every Sunday night we go live on TikTok at Nathan Morris Music. You get first looks, first listens, first everything. And 2024 is going to reveal some really cool perks for subscribers. So go over there. It's $5.99 a month. Click the link in the show notes right now. Subscribe. You get 1 latte for $5.99. Me, you get 4 a month. Not a week, a month. But some months you get 5. Nonetheless, $5.99 a month. Go subscribe right over there at Nathan Morris Music on TikTok. Link in the show notes. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage and let's get this show on the road. The hangout spot in high school for me was Joel's house. Joel and all of us would go there. His grandmother lived in the house with him, his older brother, and his parents. They added on to the home so they could tend to her, and I'm painting the picture of this beautiful, sprawling one-story home with all of this land, a beautiful pool. It was a teenager's dream. We were safe there. It was limitless what we could do, play wiffle ball in the backyard with Joel's older brother, Nolan, and his friends, or swim all hours of the night, or we could walk into the family room, which was far enough away from his parents so we wouldn't keep them up all night. And his sweet little grandmother, may her memory be eternal, she couldn't hear, so her being relatively close to the family room, she was none the wiser to hear us laughing to none other than friends. Each other, yes. Late conversations and frozen pizza after frozen pizza to eat, Doritos. But friends, the show, there were these box sets back in the day, a DVD. For those of you who don't know what that is, lasers would read them and they would project it's a DVD, you get it. Joel's mother and father, also fans, would buy the box sets. So watching Friends in primetime slots was unnecessary because we would binge watch them when the DVD box sets came out. Episode after episode over the course of summers, multiple summers. 10 seasons, 10 box sets, enjoyed at Joel's house in his family room. We grew up, you probably grew up with Friends. And if not in real time, the syndication version of. It has been a show which resonated and still does because these misfits that would otherwise not work together, and everyone can relate to that. It was cutting edge. It was ahead of its time with interracial relationships and same-sex relationships and marriage and touching tough topics. And I remember being on tour and hearing about my mother waking up at midnight to take my little brother John to Books A Million, a bookstore. At midnight, they would line up in droves dressed up as their favorite character because the doors would fling open and The Prisoner of Azkaban or some other book, the next book in the Harry Potter series had come out, and a loyal fan John, my brother, was, and so many that were. John had the opportunity to grow up with Harry Potter, Hermione, Ron. They grew up with these characters. And so the last book, the last part of that story, there was this element of grief which ensued. And John, years ago, explained that to me, and I couldn't understand it. I do now. I understand it now. On Saturday night, I opened up my Facebook, which I hadn't done in a day or two, and the first article I read was posted at 5:33 Pacific time, which it was 8:36 Eastern time, meaning 3 minutes had passed, announcing that Matthew Perry had died. And immediately my mouth dropped. I said nothing, and I came into this space and I put my phone on the tripod and I hit the record button. And I just spoke. I don't know what I said. I really don't recall what I said. And immediately uploaded that video on TikTok at Nathan Morris Music. I've still not watched it. It has, last I looked, almost 500,000 views because it resonated, apparently. I know how my brother John felt about this Harry Potter character, friend really, to him, because Sean experienced middle school and high school, grew up with a young man who too was experiencing so much change and loss. And as of Saturday night, the child in me experienced the same loss. Chandler Bing, as so many remember him as, yes, he's done other works and movies and has spoken honestly in regards to his addiction and attempts at sobriety. Him as Chandler Bing was a part of my middle school and high school formidable years. I remember many a nights belly laughing in Joel's living room. I remember many a nights after that, before Aaron, my older brother, was married, on his couch at Mallard Place, a tiny little apartment, laughing at the DVD box set that Aaron then bought. Seasons 1 through 10 enjoyed over and over and over again, if not the box set, the syndication that comes on cable TV, or of course our now streaming services. It's the go-to. It's the safety. It's, I don't know what to choose, movie night, so let's watch Friends. Chandler and Ross and Joey and Phoebe and Monica and Rachel, they are important people, figures, characters in my and your life. And Matthew Perry represented a part of my life that was riddled with grief and unknowns and joyful moments and heartache and heartbreak. And Saturday at 5:36, 8:36 Eastern, the teenager in me was heartbroken. The teenager in me now is heartbroken. He released a book last year, November 2022, and it was admirable that he was not going to do this book, talk about the things that he talked about, until he was able to grasp and feel confident in the sobriety he was sitting in, because he struggled with addiction for so long, and no telling the amount of times. It was said 14, but is that the number of times he attends rehab and goes? He kept trying and kept showing up and doing what I say we should do each and every day and night, and the world needs you, so you show up. And he did. And this whole idea of you're going to be remembered for something, choose good, you leave a mark. At 5:36 on Saturday, I acknowledged the mark Matthew Perry made on this world and in my life. I posted a video about it. I'm sharing this podcast episode and my thoughts regarding his life because of the mark he's made. It's real and it's true. The world does need you. It needs us. It needed Matthew to show up, to be Chandler, to be what he needed to be on a personal level to so many who love him, because they needed him. The mark that he has made is very apparent and beautiful and timeless, and a show that was shot in the early 90s and late 90s and early 2000s. It saw so much change those years in my middle school and high school, and yet in 2023 it is still so very relevant. Just like John grieved the last book, the last quest of Harry Potter, so too I grieve the loss of Chandler Bing, Matthew Perry, who beautifully represented that character, celebrated that character, embodied that character. He showed up to be that character for you, for a lot of people, at the cost of, right? But he showed up, and he kept showing up. I hope that this moment is a reminder that the world needs you to show up. You don't have to stand in front of a camera, remember lines, write a book, but you do have to show up and do what you are put here to do, because I need you, the world needs you, and I'm grateful to have shared memories with Joel and Drew and Jake and Mikey and Nolan. Created them because of Chandler and his cohorts being the backdrop. May those who love Matthew Perry personally, those family members so close to him and friends so very close to him, may their grief be lightened if only a little, and may those who adore him from afar as I do, may you experience joy and turn to an episode, one you love, one you laugh a little harder on. You leave a mark. May Matthew Perry's memory be eternal. That's all. I'm Nathan. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you following me everywhere. I'll see you at the next episode.